What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. For this camera comparison we have the Samsung Galaxy S23 and of course the Pixel 7 Pro. So we are starting this video by recording with the front-facing cameras on both devices. We are currently doing 4K at 30 frames per second, but both devices could do 4K at 60 frames per second. We have a super sunny day today, but also a bit of a windy day, so you're probably gonna hear some wind aside from my voice. So we're gonna walk that way. I'm trying to keep the phones as steady as possible, just so you can see how that video stabilization works on both of them. And I'm also gonna run for a bit. And we'll turn around. So now the sun is basically behind me. So you can see how both cameras perform under these conditions, under these situations, basically when the sun is right behind you. Okay, so next we are gonna switch over to the rear cameras, and I'll start by showing you some sample recordings at different resolutions that I've done with the rear cameras. Okay, so for our next test, I'm using the main cameras on the back of the Samsung Galaxy S23 and of course on the back of the Pixel 7 Pro, and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. The Pixel 7 Pro can do 4K at 60 frames per second, that's the maximum recording resolution, where with the Samsung Galaxy S23 you could record in 8K at 30 frames per second. So here we have some shade. I'm gonna stop here and we'll pan left slowly. So towards the castle basically and up. It is also quite windy, so you're gonna hear a lot of wind in these recordings, and we'll walk this way. So yeah, this is how recording would look like if you're using the main cameras and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second with the S23 and the Pixel 7 Pro. Alright, moving on to our second test. So for this test, I've switched the cameras to the ultra-wide cameras on the back of the two devices and recording once again in 4K at 30 frames per second. And I'm trying to hold the phones as steady as possible. Once again, it is a bit windy, so you're probably gonna hear some wind aside from my voice. So here we have a combination of sunshine and shade. From what I'm seeing on the screens here, the S23 does better, but we'll have to see how this footage actually looks on the computer. So we'll go down these stairs so you can see how that video stabilization works. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. And hopefully nobody steals my scooter. And we'll stop somewhere around here. We're gonna pan right slowly. And we'll keep going. So kind of heading towards the sun now. So yeah, ultra wide cameras, 4K at 30 frames per second on the S23 and of course the Pixel 7 Pro. Okay, next we are checking out the active video mode on the Pixel 7 Pro and the super steady mode on the Samsung Galaxy S23. Of course, the S23 does get a much better video resolution at this mode. So as you can see, I am running. I'm gonna go down the stairs just so you can see which device does better for this video mode basically. And we'll turn around and we'll run back out. So yeah, the active video mode and super steady on the S23. Okay, and moving on to our last daytime video. So I've switched the cameras back to the main cameras. They're recording in 4K at 60 frames per second. And as you can see, I am walking up the stairs. We're gonna stop somewhere around here. We'll pan left slowly. And up, and we'll walk down, I guess. So yeah, this is how recording with the main camera would look like if you're recording in 4K at 60 frames per second between the S23 and of course the Pixel 7 Pro. Alright, then I have a quick video in low light between the Pixel 7 Pro and of course the Samsung Galaxy S23. For this recording I'm using the main cameras on the back of the two devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. We'll have to wait for that light to turn off. I can definitely see better the screen of the Samsung Galaxy S22. And hopefully that camera doesn't turn on again. And we'll walk this way. Alright, so some super quick thoughts regarding the video quality between the S23 and of course the Pixel 7 Pro. Well, first of all, I find that the S23 has the more accurate looking colors, and also dynamic range in most of those recordings seems to be better in the recordings done by the Samsung Galaxy S23. Also, it seems that the videos are slightly sharper from that S23. However, the Pixel 7 Pro doesn't have bad videos by any means. As for the nighttime recordings, realistically you're better off not to film with either device because neither device does that great. But let me know in a comment down below which device you prefer for video recordings during the day, of course, because those ones are the ones that we use the most. And now that we are done with the videos, we are moving on to pictures, and of course we are starting with daytime pictures and pictures that I took with the main cameras on the back of the two devices. And of course all the pictures are taken on auto mode and maybe about a second apart from each other. Now for these pictures it's really tough to say, hey, this one is so much better than the other one, or this one is so much better than the other one. I bet that a lot of people are gonna prefer the pictures from the Pixel 7 Pro. They do have more special feel, I'm gonna say, but a lot of people are also gonna prefer the brighter looking pictures from the Samsung Galaxy S23. So yes, some of those pictures taken by the S23 do have a better dynamic range, but it's tough to choose the better one in my opinion. So I'm gonna let you guys choose the one that's the best one, and leave a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. We are moving on to some zoom pictures, and for the zoom pictures I've done 10 times zoom. Now keep in mind that the Pixel 7 Pro has a 5 times telephoto lens, where the Galaxy S23 has a 3 times telephoto lens. So clearly the Pixel 7 Pro will do much better for zoom pictures. So if you look at those pictures, pretty much every single one is sharper, but that was to be expected because of that telephoto lens that we have on the Pixel 7 Pro. As for the pictures taken with the ultra-wide cameras, well, the situation is reversed here. So here it seems that every single picture that I took with the Samsung Galaxy S23 is way sharper than the same picture that I took with the Pixel 7 Pro. The dynamic range is also better in those pictures taken by the S23. So for me personally, for that ultra-wide camera, I feel that there isn't really no comparison, and the Galaxy S23 does better. But then we are moving on to portrait mode pictures, and here, well, you can see that skin smoothing that the S23 does, and even though I have that turned off, so if you want your pictures to be Instagram ready, of course you're gonna prefer the pictures from the S23. But if you want more realistic looking pictures, the Pixel 7 Pro does those portrait mode pictures way better. So I do prefer the portrait mode pictures from the Pixel 7 Pro. Okay, and we're moving on to night pictures, and we're starting with the pictures taken with the main cameras and of course the night modes available on each device. Now looking at those pictures, it looks to me that the Pixel 7 Pro is the clear winner. First of all, those yellow colors that the S23 adds in those pictures are not real, so nothing looks that yellow. You can actually see with your own eyes what you're seeing in the pictures taken by the Pixel 7 Pro. Not to mention the Pixel 7 Pro also takes the sharper pictures. So for that main camera, there is really no comparison for that night sight mode. So for me, the Pixel 7 Pro for the main camera and the night mode. As for the ultra-wide pictures and of course the night modes on both devices, well, the pictures are sharper from the Samsung Galaxy S23, but again, those colors don't really match reality, and I personally don't like those yellows that we get in there, and you don't get to realize those yellows until you see the pictures next to the pictures like the ones that I took with the Pixel 7 Pro. So even though some of those pictures do look a bit sharper from the S23, I still prefer the Pixel 7 Pro even for the ultra-wide cameras. But definitely leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And lastly, selfies. And looking at those selfies, well, for the daytime ones, I do prefer a picture from the Pixel 7 Pro, but for the other two, the Samsung Galaxy S23 does seem to do a bit better. As for the nighttime selfies, it really depends what you like. The S23 does have a bit of a filter over my face, but it does make me look younger. So I'm not sure which one does better for those nighttime selfies. So there you have it, the Pixel 7 Pro versus the Samsung Galaxy S23. Which one do you find better and which one do you prefer? Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.